What's up, guys? This Wednesday, I Am Groot dropped on Disney Plus, and today I'm gonna be looking at the 5 shorts we got, then taking a look at the series as a whole, and explaining why I think I Am Groot is the biggest waste of time ever to be released in the MCU. So, I Am Groot was a 5 episode short series centered around Baby Groot and a few of his adventures between Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. And if you recall from my excitement rankings, I mentioned that I thought this might be a cute series. It might have a couple laughs in there, but that was pretty much it. I did not know how right I was going to be.
Always a total surprise.
Episode 1, Groot's First Steps, is a weird, just kind of boring episode. Groot gets upset because these little robots that we've never before seen on the Guardians ship
Where did they come from?
stop cleaning him and start cleaning this bonsai tree, I guess it would be. And he winds up getting his pot shattered, realizes he has legs, and walks. And that's the episode. He learns to walk for 2.5 minutes.
That's the stupidest thing you've ever said!
And already you can see why I wasn't very much enjoying this series when a fifth, 20% of the entire show thus far has been dedicated to Groot learning he has legs.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
It only goes downhill from there, because then we get into episode 2, The Little Guy. And there, Groot is on this alien planet. Groot build a tree house, and then it gets broken down. And that has little to do with the rest of the episode. So, like, the first minute has very little to do with the second minute.
There's no other connection.
And that's another problem I have that I'll get to later, that these episodes are only like 3 minutes long in actual content duration. But anyway, in the second minute or so of this episode, he finds a tiny civilization of really minuscule creatures. And of course, he's so giant to them that they start attacking him. And then Marvel lowers themselves to the most basic level of humor and has Groot fart out a leaf that the tiny little aliens start eating, and they start celebrating him as though he were a god.
You have got to be kidding me.
So then Groot gets a bright idea. He goes, grabs more leaves off of a nearby bush, and as he's returning, he steps in the hole. So then, of course, Groot realizes his mistake, and he leaves. And we later find out that some of the little aliens survived, but that's it. No real story, no real impact, just Groot farting out a leaf and getting worshipped.
Boring. Now,
Then we move on to episode 3, Groot's Pursuit. And this was actually the episode I enjoyed the most. Not saying I enjoyed any of these episodes, but it was the least unwatchable for me. Groot wakes up in the middle of the night. He finds a container that was shattered, but he takes a break from tracking the creature to use the bathroom. He then comes out of the bathroom and encounters the creature that takes the form of Groot. Then they have a dance battle. And let me just say, this does not hold a candle to the dance battle from the original Guardians of the Galaxy with Star-Lord.
Well, duh.
It's just Groot and this fake Groot dancing, and then the fake Groot starts shape-shifting, and Groot lures him to an airlock and jettisons him out into space. And that's our episode. We then move on to episode 4.
Take it, I can't take it!
Where Groot takes a bath. The title of the episode tells you all you need to know. Groot goes down to another alien planet. He takes a bath and adds all these different plants to it. So the bath makes him start sprouting leaves. And he's making so much noise that he annoys this really colorfully furred bird. And the bird then destroys the last of the leaves. And so Groot takes his revenge by stripping the fur off the bird and leaving the bird essentially plucked while he uses the bird's fur as a scarf.
That seems unnecessary.
And leaves for the Guardian's ship. I mean, kind of funny. It did get me to laugh once, but inconsequential and relatively pointless again. And then we get to episode 5, Magnum Opus, the most deceptive title of the whole series, because a magnum opus is supposed to be like this big starring event, the epic ultimate culmination of something. This was none of that.
Disappointing.
This was a waste of time. Groot steals some of Rocket's tail fur, steals a bunch of other things from around the ship, and tries to make a family portrait of the Guardians. In doing so, he blows a hole in the ship, and the only vaguely bright side to this episode was that we got to see Rocket as a character, because I guess they could just do the CGI. They didn't have to bother with live action anything. But still, just it feels like really a waste of time getting Bradley Cooper to come in just to voice Rocket for a few sentences in this insignificant episode in this series that's already been a great waste of time. So even that bright point still, it's just like you've wasted the actor's time. So, and then that's it. That's our entire series. Groot walks, farts, has a dance battle, takes a bath, and blows a hole in the ship. And that's it. That's this entire MCU series that they've been promoting for months and releasing trailers for and trying to get us excited for. That's it. The series takes about 20 minutes to watch because each episode, it's 5 minutes in duration, but there's not 5 minutes of actual content. It's about 2.5 minutes of content and then 2.5 minutes of credits, which is another problem I have with this series. You've already got shorts. They're already very short episodes. You don't have a whole lot of content that you're trying to bring to the table. But when you go ahead and then take that content and cut it in half and just give us half of the episode as an actual episode and half of it as credits, you're just wasting our time because you've got us there expecting a 5-minute long short and getting a 2.5-minute long snippet. So this series just for me felt like a big waste of time. I really feel like especially they wasted Kevin Feige's time and the resources of Marvel Studios that could have been used to go towards another project that would have had some actual impact on the MCU, that would have had some actual importance and stock for fans. And instead they devoted those important resources towards this project of childish humor and lame storylines. I know I'm ranting a bit, but really that's just how I feel about this series. I feel like it was just a misallocation of resources, a waste of time, and I'd watch it only because it's technically part of the MCU, and therefore I want to watch it in case anything from this series pops up later in another MCU project so I can understand those connections. But outside of that, for the casual viewing fan or somebody who's looking for a serious comic book adventure, I would not recommend this series. It's childish, it's immature, it's frankly a waste of time, and just not a very good or quality series. So those are my thoughts on I Am Groot. You can find all 5 episodes on Disney Plus if you want to. I don't know why you would, but they're there if you should decide to watch. And of course, this is all my opinion. I do not like I Am Groot at all, but that doesn't mean that you guys have to dislike it. So feel free to give me your opinions on the series in the comments down below. And if you liked watching me rant about something for 10 minutes, then consider giving us a like, subscribing, and turning on the notifications for more angry ranting from me.
You must.
We'd really appreciate it, and it helps what we're trying to do here. And until next time, I'll sign off saying adios.